Black lawyer protects black boy. Racist officer runs when she speaks a story of justice and courage story. It was a hot afternoon in a small suburban town where the usual humdrum of daily life could be felt on every corner. But on this particular day, things were different. Jalen, a 15-year-old black boy, was walking home from school when he was stopped by Officer Derek Wilkes, a police officer known for his abrasive and discriminatory actions toward black residents. Wilkes had already been under investigation for several complaints, but nothing substantial had ever been done. As Jalen was just trying to mind his own business, the officer suddenly demanded that he stop. "Where are you going?" "Got any ID?" Officer Wilkes asked with an intimidating tone, though there was no reason to suspect Jalen of anything. Jalen, nervous but calm, tried to explain that he was simply heading home, but Wilkes wasn't having it. "You're just a kid. I don't trust you. You're gonna stand here while I call for backup." Jalen was no stranger to this kind of treatment. He knew how quickly things could escalate, so he remained composed. What he didn't know was that this time, someone else would be there to witness the injustice and do something about it. Enter Naomi Ellis, a sharp, determined black attorney who had made a name for herself defending victims of racial profiling and police brutality. She was driving past when she noticed the scene unfolding. She immediately parked her car, recognizing the officer and his history of prejudice without hesitation. Naomi stepped out of her vehicle and walked up to the officer. "Is there a problem, Officer Wilkes?" she asked with calm authority. The officer scoffed. "This kid's acting suspicious." "I'm just doing my job." Naomi's eyes narrowed. She knew the game Wilkes was playing. He had no real reason to detain Jalen other than his skin color. "Your job is to protect and serve, not to harass people for no reason. This is not a lawful stop. You need to let him go." Wilkes sneered, but didn't back down. "I don't need you getting involved, lady." "This is none of your business, actually." "It is," Naomi replied firmly, stepping even closer. "Jalen is my business now, and you violated his rights." The tension in the air thickened as the officer grew visibly uncomfortable. He had a reputation for bullying civilians, but Naomi was no average bystander. She was a lawyer, a fierce advocate for justice, and well known for winning cases against the very police officers who thought they were untouchable. She pulled out her phone, recording the interaction. "Do you want to explain to the department why you're harassing an innocent child in broad daylight?" she asked, her voice calm but laced with a quiet fury. The officer hesitated. He could feel the weight of the situation shifting. For the first time, it wasn't just a random black person standing up to him. It was someone with the power to turn his life upside down. Jalen stood there, watching Naomi. For the first time, he felt the quiet stirrings of hope. He wasn't alone. "Someone was fighting for him," Naomi continued. "I suggest you let him go, or I'll be more than happy to file a complaint with the department and take this to court. Your actions today are both unlawful and unethical." Officer Wilkes could feel the eyes of the small crowd gathering. The pressure was mounting, and he knew he had no valid reason to hold Jalen any longer. He scowled but finally muttered, "Fine," before reluctantly stepping back. Naomi addressed Jalen with a reassuring smile. "You're free to go now. You're safe." The moment was a victory, small but significant. Officer Wilkes, clearly embarrassed, walked away, his head low. Naomi made sure to document the entire encounter, ready to take legal action if needed. But for now, she was content knowing that justice had been served in this moment, even if it was just a small act of defiance. As Naomi and Jalen walked off together, she said, "Don't ever let anyone make you feel less than you are. You have rights, and you have people who will fight for them. Never be afraid to stand up for yourself because you matter." Jalen nodded, his confidence growing with each step. He was no longer just a kid being targeted by a racist officer. He was someone who had seen firsthand that change was possible, that voices could be heard, and that justice wasn't always out of reach. The next day, Naomi filed a formal complaint against Officer Wilkes. She made it clear that racial profiling would not be tolerated under her watch. It wasn't just about this one moment, it was about sending a message. If the system wouldn't act, she would. The story quickly spread across social media, and Naomi became an even more prominent figure in the fight for racial equality. People from all over rallied behind Jalen, and the town of Wilkesburg began to question the actions of its police force. The racist officer's power was waning, and he knew it. In the end, it wasn't just Naomi's legal skills that had made the difference, it was the courage to speak out, to stand tall, and to fight back, no matter the odds. For Jalen, it was a day he would never forget, the day a black lawyer protected him, and a racist officer ran when she spoke. Moral of the story: change begins with speaking up, standing firm, and holding people accountable. It's about knowing your rights and finding the courage to challenge injustice when you see it.